Elbone here, and I've got everything you need to know before you watch my home Formula One race this weekend's 2025 F1 United States Grand Prix at Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas, that I will be attending for the first time since 2023. Stay tuned later on in this video for more info about my USGP plans, but for now, let's get into it. Elbone! First off, it's United States Grand Prix race week, and here's what you need to know about America's national F1 race. This weekend's Formula One United States Grand Prix, aka the USGP, is the 19th of 24 rounds in the 2025 Formula One World Championship. The United States Grand Prix takes place this weekend at Circuit of the Americas in Dale Valley, Austin metro area, Travis County, Texas Hill Country, Central Texas, Texas, United States, North America, Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Line K Supercluster, Universe, Multiverse, Simulation. The USGP weekend is the fourth of 6 F1 sprint weekends this season, meaning its weekend schedule differs greatly from that of a normal race weekend due to there being additional qualifying and race sessions for the purpose of... nobody knows why F1 Sprint exists, but it does, and honestly, it's growing on me, so whatever. Therefore, the weekend schedule is as follows. This Friday, October 17th, will consist of the only practice session of the weekend and sprint race qualifying. Saturday, October 18th will consist of the sprint race and Grand Prix qualifying, and Sunday, October 19th will consist of the 54th running of America's National Road Race and the 46th running of the USGP as part of the Formula One World Championship. You'll notice that I said America's National Road Race because the Indy 500 is undeniably America's national car race in general, despite the fact that the USGP actually predates the Indy 500 by a few years. Now, despite the fact that the US is oftentimes looked at as more of a NASCAR or IndyCar country, the United States is the true home of Formula One, and here's why. First off, the United States is one of just 7 countries to have hosted a Formula One race all the way back during Formula One's inaugural 1950 World Championship season, and of those 7 countries, it's one of just 5 still hosting Formula One events to this day. So right there, I've narrowed the contestants for true home of F1 down to just the US, Britain, Monaco, Belgium, and Italy, and now I'm about to narrow it down to just the US with these next 3 points. Next, the United States currently hosts more Formula One race than any other country with 3. With the United States Grand Prix, Miami Grand Prix, and Las Vegas Grand Prix all actively taking place in the United States each F1 season, I'm not sure how anyone can refute that the US is the home of F1. Your home is the place you spend the most time, and Formula One spends more time in the United States than any other country, so it's obviously its home. The US is also the only country to ever host 3 Grand Prix in one season multiple times, with the only other country to ever do it even once being Italy, and that only happened out of necessity because of the need to have a revised 2020 schedule due to all those cancellations. Additionally, Formula One is literally owned by an American company, Liberty Media, meaning that by definition, the US is the home of Formula One. Finally, and arguably most importantly, the United States is the true home of F1 because it contains more unique past and present Formula One Grand Prix circuits than any other country in the world, with an absurd 12. Yes, 12 different circuits in the United States have hosted Formula One World Championship events, and if you don't believe me, stay tuned because I'm just going to name them all right now. The Sebring International Raceway in Florida, the Riverside International Raceway in California, Watkins Glen in New York, the Phoenix Street Circuit in Arizona, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in Indiana, Circuit of the Americas aka COTA in Texas, the Caesars Palace Grand Prix Circuit in Nevada, Dallas Fair Park in Texas, the Detroit Street Circuit in Michigan, the Long Beach Street Circuit in California, the Miami International Autodrome in Florida, and the Las Vegas Street Circuit in Nevada. 12 circuits across 8 different states, F1 has literally raced in America from sea to shining sea, and no other country on earth can claim such a broad and diverse F1 resume. Now, as an American myself, am I biased? Of course. Now, was this post designed to be rage bait? Kinda. But I did make some pretty valid points, I think, that I want to see debated in the comments, so go comment right now if you disagree with me, or if you agree with me, just go comment. Elbone! In the top secret world of F1, safeguarding your data from rival teams is so important that human privacy walls are often set up to try and prevent other teams from stealing it. My sponsor, Surfshark, knows that it's not just F1 teams that need their data protected, it's all humans. That's why they created Surfshark VPN. Surfshark VPN develops humanized privacy and security solutions to safeguard your data and privacy online. Here are just some of Surfshark VPN's benefits. First, Surfshark VPN protects your data while using dangerous public Wi-Fi hotspots to prevent identity theft. Surfshark VPN uses top-grade encryption, meaning you can surf the web from anywhere without having to worry about the security of your data. Second, Surfshark VPN has an ad blocker and protects you from malware attacks. This allows you to surf the web seamlessly and safely. Additionally, Surfshark VPN also allows you to watch your favorite local content from anywhere on Earth, saves you money by removing location-based price discrimination, and more. Best of all, Surfshark VPN is compatible with all major operating systems. With additional products such as Surfshark Antivirus, Alert, and Search, Surfshark exists to give you the safest internet experience possible. Ready to start searching safely? Go to surfshark.com/fbone or use code FBONE at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. That's surfshark.com/fbone or use code FBONE at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. Next up, do you know this F1 United States Grand Prix trivia? I'll start off with an easy fact about this weekend's upcoming F1 race in Austin, Texas, and go progressively harder until I end with a super difficult one, and if you get them all right, then you are a certified F1 genius. Let's do this, Elbone! Question number 1, skill level easy. The United States Grand Prix Circuit of the Americas, famously features a 77-meter or 251-foot tall what? Is it A, Statue of Big Tex, B, American flag, or C, observation tower? The answer is C, observation tower. USGP attendees can pay something in the realm of $35 to go to the top of the COTA Tower and experience panoramic views of COTA, though be warned that the wait time can get pretty long, and also I'm pretty sure they make you walk all the way down after you take the elevator up, which can be a lot in the Texas heat. If you got that one right, good job, but just know that's the only multiple choice question today, so things are about to get a little harder. Question number 2, skill level medium. The 2018 United States Grand Prix featured the final victory in the career of which F1 World Drivers' Champion? The answer is 2007 World Drivers' Champion Kimi Räikkönen, who won the 2018 USGP for Ferrari to snap a 114-race winless streak stretching all the way back to the 2013 Australian Grand Prix that was, at the time, an F1 record-long winless streak. The winless streak record sadly now belongs to Aston Martin's Fernando Alonso, who incredibly has not won a race since 4 races after Kimi won that 2013 Australian Grand Prix. Pretty sure that record will never be beaten. Question number 3, skill level hard. A controversy surrounding what car part led to only 6 cars starting the 2005 United States Grand Prix at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway? The answer is tires. The 7 teams that used Michelin tires were rendered unable to competitively race due to tire reliability issues, so they all withdrew at the end of the formation lap. And question number 4, skill level F1 superfan. Who was the winner of the first ever F1 United States Grand Prix? The answer is Cooper driver Bruce McLaren, who won the 1959 United States Grand Prix held at the Sebring International Raceway in Sebring, Florida, to become the first Kiwi driver to win an F1 race. The McLaren team will certainly be hoping to channel that McLaren USGP energy this weekend as they continue trying to fight off the surging Max Verstappen. Alright, how many USGP themed questions did you get right? Let me know in the comments. Now let's move on to talking more about the United States Grand Prix circuit. Circuit of the Americas, aka COTA, is 5.513 kilometers or 3.43 miles in length, and the United States Grand Prix will be contested over the course of 56 laps around its 20 turns. Speaking of COTA's turns, no turn at COTA is more iconic than Turn 1. Turn 1 at COTA is one of the most recognizable corners in all of motorsport on account of the absolutely massive climb up the pit straight that it takes to reach it. This climb sees drivers ascending over 100 feet in a matter of seconds before entering a heavy braking zone that is ripe for overtakes. Here's a video I made from Turn 1 back in 2023.
Here at Turn 1, the iconic Turn 1, they call it Big Red. Literally nobody calls it that, but they're trying to make it happen. It's not going to happen, it's just Turn 1. Cameras, video cameras, photo cameras, whatever, do not do this justice. It is a massive hill. You can't tell here, but trust me, it looks like 15 times bigger than it looks right now in this video that I'm in. We're only like halfway up it too. It's crazy. Massive hill, second biggest hill on the F1 calendar behind Eau Rouge, Radillon. But yeah, it's crazy. Iconic.
By the way, if you liked that content, check out the entire vlog that I made of my experience attending the 2023 USGP on YouTube after you finish watching this video, of course. Watch it all the way to the end. For me, J-Bone, L-Bone. Along with turn 1, you'll want to pay extra close attention to part of the racetrack that's just past turn 1, the S's of turns 3 through 6. While this isn't an overtaking zone, as it really only has one racing line, which prevents side-by-side racing, it very frequently features incidents of drivers going off track due to the trickiness of this back-and-forth sequence, paired with a tailwind that frequently gusts up here and reduces downforce during this section that is one of the most downforce-focused sections of any F1 circuit. A fun thing to do is see if COTA's massive 35 meter by 20 meter or 115 foot by 66 foot American flag is blowing toward the S's. If it is, folks, that tailwind is ready to cause some chaos. COTA's biggest overtaking zone is turn 12, which is the heavy braking zone at the end of COTA's gargantuan back straight that leads drivers into the highly technical turns 12 through 19. Real quick before I move on, if you could please take a couple seconds to toss this video a like, comment, and or some YouTube hype points, it would really help this video reach a lot more people and help Formula Bone grow. To sweeten the deal, I will respond to a bunch of comments left on this video this week. If you don't believe me, go comment and find out because I'll probably respond to it. L-Bone! Alright, here are the F1 storylines you absolutely need to be following right now ahead of this weekend's United States Grand Prix. Your first storyline, F1 Sprint returns for the United States Grand Prix and it could change everything. If you're new to Formula One, F1 Sprint weekends are special event weekends where 2 practice sessions are replaced with competitive sessions for, quite literally, the sake of increased entertainment and no other reason. A normal race weekend goes free practice 1 and free practice 2 on Friday, free practice 3 and qualifying on Saturday, and the Grand Prix on Sunday, and a 2025 F1 Sprint weekend goes free practice 1 and sprint race qualifying on Friday, the sprint race and Grand Prix qualifying on Saturday, and the Grand Prix on Sunday. The USGP being a sprint weekend right in the middle of the intense 3-way World Drivers' Championship battle we have going on between Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, and Max Verstappen could have a massive impact on this season for these 3 main reasons. First, sprint weekends award more points than a normal race weekend does due to the sprint race also awarding points like the Grand Prix, so there is a chance that we see a huge World Drivers' Championship point swing this weekend that could give a driver an edge. Especially when you add in these next 2 reasons. Second, sprint weekends having only 1 practice session means there is an increased chance that a team messes up their car setup due to a lack of practice data, and if, say, that team is McLaren, it could result in Max Verstappen catching up to Oscar and Lando in a huge way. If Max were to win the sprint race and Grand Prix and the McLarens were to score no points, Max will get right up on the heels of the Papayas with 5 Grand Prix and 2 sprint races left. And third, sprint weekends having 4 competitive sessions means there's a higher likelihood of an incident occurring, such as a crash or a mechanical failure, that could jeopardize a driver's ability to score points, which could cause large amounts of chaos in the World Drivers' Championship battle. I'll be maybe the only person on Earth brave enough to say this. I am thankful for F1 Sprint this weekend because it is about to make what was already going to be a dramatic USGP even more dramatic. Thank you, F1 Sprint, I guess. Your second storyline, McLaren already clinching this season's F1 World Constructors' Championship in Singapore has set us up for an incredible United States Grand Prix this weekend. Here's why. McLaren have had their so-called papaya rules in place for every race of the 2024 and 2025 F1 seasons up to this point. Papaya rules are McLaren's rules of engagement for Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, their 2 drivers, that dictate how they should safely race each other in order to maximize points for the McLaren team every race weekend. These rules were in place for every 2024 F1 race because McLaren didn't clinch last season's Constructors' Championship until after the final race of that season, and they've been in place at every race thus far this season as McLaren had not yet clinched this season's Constructors' Championship until after the checkered flag was waved at the most recent race in Singapore. However, now that McLaren are going to Austin, Texas, having already clinched this season's Constructors' Championship, I think it is safe to say that for all intents and purposes, papaya rules are being thrown out the window due to the fact that the 2 McLaren drivers are locked in an intense battle for this season's one remaining championship, the World Drivers' Championship. After all, if you're Lando Norris trying to beat your McLaren teammate Oscar Piastri, and McLaren tells you that you need to let Oscar by you because of papaya rules, when doing so would immensely damage your World Drivers' Championship title hopes, Would you? I wouldn't, and I don't think Lando will either. And if McLaren expects otherwise from either of their drivers from now until the World Drivers' Championship is locked up, they're gonna have a bad time. I absolutely positively cannot wait to watch F1 now that we've presumably said sayonara to the papaya rules, and I crave the McLaren on McLaren drama that awaits us at this weekend's United States Grand Prix and beyond. Do you think papaya rules are dead and gone for the rest of the season like I do? Let me know in the comments. Your third storyline, who the heck is going to win the 2025 F1 United States Grand Prix this weekend? I truly have no clue, and let's be honest, you don't either. And we F1 fans like it that way because that is how you know that we are experiencing an incredibly balanced F1 season right now that almost makes us forget all about how Max Verstappen won 19 of 22 races just 2 years ago. But for fun, let's try our best to figure out who is going to win the USGP, even though it's truly impossible to know. Okay, so we've had 4 different race winners from 3 different teams in the last 5 races. McLaren's Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri won in Hungary and the Netherlands respectively, followed up by Red Bull's Max Verstappen going back-to-back in Italy and Baku, and capped off by Mercedes' George Russell winning the most recent race in Singapore. You can make the case that any of those 4 drivers, who are all already multiple-time race winners this season, could win the USGP given the form they're in and the individual strengths of each driver and their car, but wait, there's more. In looking at the USGP, we are forced to remember that last year in Austin, Ferrari came out of nowhere and accomplished an insane 1-2 finish. Sure, the Prancing Horses don't have a race win yet in 2025, but if there's any remaining race at which they might be able to pull one off, you have to think it's the race they went 1-2 at last year, and that both of their 2 drivers, Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc, have won at before, right? Additionally, considering I've proven to be a jinx time and time again this season, now that I've said all that, there's a non-zero chance that none of those drivers win, and that it's a driver from the rest of the grid that stands atop the USGP podium this weekend. So who do you think is going to win this weekend's F1 United States Grand Prix? I really want to know, so let me see in the comments. Your final storyline, huge news! I, L-Bone, will be on location in Austin all race week long to take in the sights, sounds, and events of my home race. I can't share too much about my plans just yet, but just know that it'll be my best access yet, and I'm super pumped for this trip. Be sure to follow me on all social media at Formula Bone, where you'll be able to follow my ongoing race journey in real time, and also where you will be able to find information regarding the Formula Bone meetup that I will be doing this weekend if you're also going to the race and want to yell, L-Bone with me. And by the way, I can't stress this enough. If you do see me walking around in Austin or at the track this weekend, say hi. I want to meet all of you. L-Bone! Next up, here are L-Bone's United States Grand picks brought to you by Grid Rivals Picks Game. Grid Rivals Picks Game gives race fans like you and me the chance to turn our F1 knowledge into money simply by making correct race predictions on the Grid Rival app. And here are my Grid Rival picks for the United States Grand Prix that I'm hoping to turn into some dough. My first United States Grand pick is Oscar Piastri to finish P2 or better. Oscar will be driving mad in Austin after the shenanigans Lando Norris and McLaren pulled on him in Singapore, and because of that, he's definitely either going to finish in the top 2 or tumble down the grid in a blaze of glory. I obviously think it'll be the former, or else I wouldn't have made this pick. My second pick is Lance Stroll to finish P15 or better. Lance has finished P15 or better in 6 of the last 8 races, and also every single USGP he's ever raced in aside from one, the one where he launched Fernando Alonso into the air. So I think this pick is a smash, eh? My third pick is Alex Albon to finish P10 or worse. After being my F1 MVP through the first half of the season, Carlos Sainz seems to have taken his Williams teammate Alex Albon's talent, Space Jam style, because Albon just went back-to-back races finishing P13 or worse. I'm going with a ride the Bronco till it bucks you Texas attitude here and picking Albon to continue his string of poor performances in Austin by finishing P10 or worse. My final pick is Lewis Hamilton to finish better than P6. Ferrari went 1-2 at the USGP last year, and that's literally my only reasoning here. If all 4 of these picks hit, I'll turn $5 into $50, and whether you want to follow my Grid Rival United States Grand picks, do the exact opposite of them because you think I'm wrong, or you want to make your own entirely different picks, you can get a $100 deposit match when you use my code BONE on the Grid Rival app, which you can download through the unique download link in the description now. Terms and conditions and age and location restrictions apply, and lines may have changed since this recording. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for, here are my 3 bona fide race predictions for the 2025 F1 United States Grand Prix, my home race. I'm currently at 23 for 54, aka 43% on the season with my F1 race predictions, and I'm hoping to channel that home Grand Prix energy and improve that percentage right now with some great USGP picks. Elbown! My first United States Grand Prix race prediction is that McLaren's Oscar Piastri will win the United States Grand Prix. I made this prediction partially because I promised all of you that I wouldn't be predicting Lando Norris to win a race for the remainder of the season due to how big of a Lando jinx I've been this year, but also because I think that with papaya rules out the window now that McLaren have clinched the constructors, we are about to see an intense and ruthless Oscar Piastri, more like the one that we saw last season, dive-bombing Lando and Leclerc for race leads. Folks, Oscar is not happy about what went down in Monza and Singapore, and we're hopefully about to see that on track if my prediction is right, which it's probably not because my name is Elbone. But maybe. My second prediction is that Ferrari's Lewis Hamilton will finish in the top 5 at the United States Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton has not finished in the top 5 at a Grand Prix since Silverstone 7 races ago, but I just cannot get out of my head what Ferrari did at the USGP last year. They finished 1-2 out of nowhere, folks, and it was crazy. And with that in my mind, and also the fact that Lewis Hamilton has more USGP wins than any other driver in F1 history with 6, including 5 at COTA, I have deluded myself into believing Lewis will return to the top 5 this weekend, and nothing that you can yell at me in the comments will make me change my mind. My third prediction is that Haas will finish in the points at their home Grand Prix. Yes, Haas have finished in the points at less than half of this season's Grand Prix, and also yes, Haas did not finish in the points at the Miami Grand Prix earlier this year, which you could also call a home Grand Prix for them, but the USGP just means more to Haas, evidenced by the fact that they bring a special livery for it specifically to celebrate their home race. And on top of me just blindly hoping that their Americanness propels them into the points at their home race, Haas are bringing a small upgrade package that could help them find some time as well, even though they'll only have one practice session to dial it in because it's a sprint weekend. Additionally, here's my prediction for the top 5 finishers in the 2025 United States Grand Prix with zero reasoning nor explanation. P5, Lewis Hamilton. P4, George Russell. P3, Max Verstappen. P2, Lando Norris. And P1, Oscar Piastri. Now for the most important part of this video, what are your predictions for the 2025 United States Grand Prix? Leave them in the comment section and I will respond to some of the best and worst ones. Toss me a subscription now and ring that notification bell so that you'll get my combination United States Grand Prix recap and Mexico City Grand Prix preview video next week right when it drops. And while you're doing that, do not forget to like, comment, and toss me some hype points so that YouTube likes me, Elbone, more. It really helps me out, seriously. Special shout out to my top YouTube channel members: Joe Max's #1 hater Snow, Brian Linton, Wolf Loves Racing, Waffleopicus, Melissa Cruz, Elmore Zuber, Logan Michael, and David Hake. Mash that join button just below this video to get your name shouted out right here in future videos. And if you want to join 1,000 plus F1 fans in the free to join Formula One Discord, you can go do that through the join link in the description. Until next time, folks, and see you at COTA. Elbown! Elbown!